fashionably late.
Yes, absolutely.
We are live. Welcome. Sorry for that minor delay, some technical issues, and but we're back, or we are here now.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you for being here with us. I hope you're all very well.
I do as well. I've been told I need to introduce myself, so probably that's a good idea for each and every episode for people that are new. My name is Jostein. I'm the host of this channel, What If? And we lost Josh.
I'm here.
Okay. But we have Josh X with us every Thursday to tell us some truths. And for those who have been joining us in previous episodes, you have noticed that Josh, he divides the words and show them the hidden meaning behind the different words. So that's what we're gonna talk about a little bit today. To get a, I know this is cannot be expected to be understood in a hour or two. So it will be a scratching the surface, let's say. So with that, I've been a part of the X family for a while, and I've been in on the weekly Q&As, and I always hear Josh divides these words, and I can't say it. I understand it by a long shot. There's a link to a video Josh did previously, the alphabet from A to Z, in the show notes. But let's start, Josh. Also, the language is not just some phonetic sounds that we make to understand each other. There's a hidden meaning or a hidden.
We could just speak initially on language itself. We have a language with meanings, but what does meaning mean? Now, in the universal law of mathematics, means average. So the meaning of something is how the average perceive it to be, which you could say is the unconscious mind fed from the nature of the world. So we all perceive something from our intelligence, how it's been programmed, and we communicate in this way. Now, during my journey, and as I elevated myself, the universe revealed itself via language. It was the ability to be present and observe language itself, rather than just having the language interpreted to me via the programming way. So the consciousness expresses itself naturally through this language, and having the ability to see this, every word shows instructions and the solution to itself, which is an incredible thing to see.
Would that be in all languages? Also, do all languages have the same hidden secrets? Or
Yes,
is English kind of...
I haven't gone into Chinese and things like this, but I've had conversations with people in Greek and Spanish and French and all of these types of things. So, there's an etymology, and all etymology comes and is linked, but this is beyond etymology. Etymology is still a construct. This is a natural cosmic flow of consciousness as expressed divinity in words itself. Now, there are many different things: anagrams, lexicograms. You will be able to hear phonetics, forwards language, backwards language. There's a man who has spent his whole entire life on reverse speech, Professor David Oates. It takes some time for one to become, let's say, accustomed to it, because at first these types of things can seem very unreal. But what happens is, when we communicate, between 8 and 15 seconds, we speak the truth in reverse during this process. So if I was to buy a car from you, and I was to ask you the questions and play it back in reverse, and if you were lying to me, your very lie would be imprinted in reverse. So I would be able to hear this very predominantly if one has the ears to listen. Now, within my own experience, tried and tested, our beautiful little X, at 6 months old, we started to begin to test this with him, because you do not need to be able to speak. It's something which is just there. So when his baby talk was there, we played it backwards as he was walking or crawling up to me. And it was just, noise from him. And we played it in reverse, and he said, "Dada, up, I love you." And this is something that one has to go through a journey and to test with. But if we correlate this or co-relate this to AC/DC music, the satanic music, to say, this is what's happening in reverse, this isn't put onto these tapes. It's natural and organic, and it does it itself. And there is no way to hide from this. So just get an application on your mobile phones, reverse speech, and talk to it. Say marijuana, it says, "I see clear." And you start to hear these things, but it'll take some time. I mean, I spent many years with it, listening to it, coming accustomed to it, to have the understanding that this is true and it's real.
But how can your example now, marijuana, be "I can see clear" backwards?
I see clear, like this.
Okay.
Like, and they started to play these things back. This is many years from me, so you have to forgive me to, bring this into the light. But it's definitely, yes, we can. This was repeated by Barack Obama. Backwards, it says, "Thank you, Satan." And then you start to hear this. It's just something that one has to go through. I'm not here to convert you. I'm here to point that if someone has the interest in this, that you develop yourself internally and have a transformation within inside yourself. A grand awareness will be there for you. So this is one of the only ways that one can truly reveal this universe and its secrets. And this is what I really want to open everybody up to today, is just the ability to see there is something very obvious in its nature. And if we open our eyes to this, we will reveal this as we progress.
I can't remember, if I read it or what. Information comes in different forms. So, but I've heard that way back there was one language, one universal language that all over the shared by the whole world. Is that?
What we got to realize is, as consciousness expands, so does everything. Language, matrix, the abilities that we have, etc. So, as you said, information, just to break the word down, is to inform at ion. Ions is positive, negative, neutral charges of the magnetic field or atom. That's expressed in science, So information forms within an ion level. So it's an energy. Everything is based on energy. So as you inform yourself, you're also creating a higher field within yourself. Knowledge is power, as such. And this is where it begins to become very interesting. So if the information has a transformation, you will see within the word transformation is to transform form at ion. So you see is to transform at the ion level. So the true transformation is to transform energetically. Hidden in this word, which is going to be quite difficult for people to perceive right now, but T is physical, and you see there's Ra hidden in this. And you can see N, S. So the physical sun ends a sine wave, and then you can see 4, and then M. M is balance. perfectly balanced 13th letter in the alphabet, right in the middle, and also shows both sides as the torus reciprocates within its symbolism. M is also the twin pillars and the V, the master number. But I feel like this is quite deep for the beginning stages. But let's show some simplicity to this type of language.
Regarding, also, every letter has its correlating number. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3,
Yes.
right?
So numerology and this etymology, or just language itself, is expressed via numbers and symbols. So, for example, there's the key numbers to know through this is really, 7, 11, 12, and then 13. We have a lot of, stigma attached to the number 13. And people have a belief that, 666 is bad. It's the mark of the devil. Number 13 is also connected to this. But, number 13 is just the letter M. This letter M is the very middle of this alphabet, which means balance. It's perfectly balanced.
That would be not only the English language alphabet, but in Norway we have a few letters extra. So yeah. But I get your point.
You will find that the synchronicity is within the shape, within the phonics, within the sound, and the numerology system of it. So if we attach a letter to these, you see G. Also, you would write the word 7. To look at this word 7, you try to see what you know in here and how it's expressed. So you can see the word even. Now this S shape is also a sine wave, which is like this. So in my interpretation, as I began to see, I started to correlate every S in language and see how it was placed within each individual word, and it means a sine wave. So the number 7 is the even sine wave, and that's why there's 7 colors. This is why the Freemasonry has the G in the middle of their masculine and feminine symbol. This is a representation of the light, the photon, this projected realm that we have here. 11, or L, even. L is the root Sanskrit word for God, but it's also the 12th letter of the alphabet. This is a pillar of Freemasonry, or your temple building. This is mind and spirit. And one must balance these things. You must even this to become L, which is the 12th letter. Number 12, if you hear 12, is to twine the L, which is the sacred energy of the masculine and feminine, redshift, blue shift, or positive and negative system within this magnetic field you see behind you on your left. So it's key to look at number systems, it's key to see the phonics, and it's key to understand that even when you see the word Eve, for example, a sieve, it's spelled S-I, Eve. So you can see there's an evening process that's going on, but this has been missed. Now, to allow one to introduce themselves here, I'm just going to write a few words that will give people some moments. So the word basic. B is a phonetic word. It sounds like B. It's also the second letter, which can mean 2. And this is why bicycles and buys is the number 2. But you see, B as I see. There's nothing more basic than as it's seen. Basic means right down to its very beginning. be as I see. And if I can see things as they be, I can be without any interpretation from this mind. But this is how you will begin to see. So when we look at the words mathematics and measurement, see, the word measure is me, a, sure. Ment is mind. So to measure something, you would have a sure mind. So measurement is me, a sure ment. Me, a sure mind. Mathematics. Matics. Matics is movement, yeah? Pneumatics. The. So you can say ma, or the balanced alpha matics. It's mathematics is the balancing of the alpha's movement. But you can see it's the matics of ma, as in the mother, or the middle other. That's why the mother is spelled M, other, because she's found in balance. So mathematics is the movement of the balanced alpha wave, or the mother, you could say, because you find the mother in balance, in union with this other energy, which is not found here as an alpha wave being. We're just going to go on to a few ment words. If you have anything to say, please join in.
I'm soaking it up.
So we hear a government itself, and we try to always go against this very machine. But it serves a great purpose in duality, and it's something we do not need to put our energy against. We need to continue to move ourselves away and elevate ourselves beyond the perception of this, because this is limited to personas and persons and legal fictions, but hidden in the word. Can you see this, brother?
Govern the mind.
Exactly. So government governs minds of the unconscious until they're able to see clear, to be able to take care and look after themselves as one raises their awareness. If I said compliment, when you give someone a compliment, this is what happens. The mind complies. It's a comply mind. The Bible is a testament. To test a mind. If I said to you entrapment,
trapping the mind.
Yeah. And you got someone by trapping their mind through entrapment. So mental is all mind, yes? Somebody that's gone mental is somebody that's all mind, focused here on the left brain. This is why AO is attached to it. We'll go into this a little bit later. I do have a YouTube video with Michel on AL and EL, and these are the two energies of the torus field you see behind you, red shift and blue shift, and everything is related to energy. So you'll begin to see this. Any word that has ment in it, start to separate it, start to see it, and start to become in tune with what is rather than what is programmed. Because that's very key as someone develops this process, because you'll see everything unfold itself to you through this language. It becomes a very grand synchronization for one's being, a very obvious nature. Thank you, Susan. Juice for me.
Juice.
If we look at, we've seen Ra in the word transformation. This is the Egyptian sun god Ra. If we see a rainbow, we see Ra in a bow. If we see a chakra system, shak is a small dwelling or a little house. The chakra system is the houses of the sun, which is the color system of energy that we have within this wonderful body. One way may know the color of an aura. Au is alchemical for which metal?
You got me.
Gold.
Ja, selvfølgelig.
Au, Ra, the golden sun. And in the word gold, you'll hear goal. D is for, which is form. For, form. These are all here for teaching, but for now. So the goal of one's form is to become gold. And gold is all of the colors that's on your left there compressed back into one light source, which is what we need to do. The scattered Ra in bow within our system needs to be put back together via the system of virtues and destroying one's ego in the process. Even the very word color, I would like to see. What word can you see in there? You can see our, you can see L, and you can see co. Co is to join. As to become is to be me. It's to join me. Be joining me. You join our L, and this L, I want to go here, A-L, E-L. Red shift, blue shift. This is the energy that we are missing as egoic identity here. So this is A, and it's a latitudinal wave. The alphabet is A to Z, and Z is a longitudinal wave. And this is how a magnetic field system works. When we speak of the word ions as energy, the holy place is Zion, which would be the Z ion. So as an alpha wave, masculine, male or female, we're very much the energy of the masculine. And we as masculine energies are in search of the divine feminine. And this is a representation of the blue shift, the right-hand path, the right side of the brain, able. Now, the word able, or Cain and Abel, Cain was a representation of one's left brain alpha wave being the 10%, and Abel is the right hemisphere. And this is why right is right and correct, because the word right is also correct. So the righteous is the right choice of the correct. This is Al, this is El, this is Cain, and this is Abel, or Abel, okay? Now, can you become enabled or enable? And how would you become enable? Well, if you listen to the word, you need to be enable. Yeah? Do you hear this? Are you seeing the divine connection with these words? It's very obvious when one starts to see these synchronicities, but it's a very deep pathway. I'm giving some food here. Now, as we're talking for food, F is number 6 in the alphabet. 6 represents matter. Carbon is number 6. This is why 666 is the mark of the man. And people get confused with the mark of the beast, because the beast is the solution. You see this E and A? The redshift, blue shift together merged. You need to be the E and A. S is sine wave, T is physical. The solution from the beast is to be this union of these two energies in your sine wave physical, your physical sine wave. But food is number 6. These two O's together always represent sight. This is why look has the two L's, the two O's in it. So the food is the matter looking at its form. D is for, which is form. So the word itself tells you that every time you have a bit of food, the matter is going to create your form. The word meal is meal. So this meal is about to be ko-me. Healthy spells heal thy. You have amino acids, amino acid, and acids cause disease. This is the fuel that your system uses to code itself. If you remember, we just said F is matter. Even the word fat is the matter at, or at your matter. You are trapped in the cells of the body. Agreed? The word cell means to trap.
Cell means to trap.
You put people in prison in cells.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the word cell, you can see L, C, E, which was the feminine blue shift, and these double L's. This is the AL, the EL, with the red shift and blue shift. This is why when one is to level, they have to even L. L, even. Remember the word 11? Twin pillars. This is why this is so very, very significant. Even the master number V itself, which is number 22. The V is the merging of this. 1, 1. The pillars have connected. And they have merged. This is the cup. This is the Holy Grail. The true Grail was spelled G, Ra, L. You can see Ra, you can see L, you can see G7. You can also see the A and the E, the L, R, and G. And this broken down into each individual letter, this is the 7 colors of the full magnetic alpha and ether wave, or the full magnetic wave as L. God, that's the Holy Grail. And this is about your Kundalini system. And your Kundalini is the K, which underlines the I. K is the 11th letter. L even. This turned on its side is a masculine with the feminine balanced, even as a symbol here. The symbology of the letter K being 11. This is just phonetically at the moment. There's so many things to this language and the nature of it, but if one continues to see and watch and integrate this into their awareness, you will become very, if one's searching for intelligence to free themselves, to then surrender this intelligence, this will give you the answers that one's looking for.
As we said, there's not much hope of understanding this in this short episode, but in the website itself, it will be at a later point a more elaborate course or something on the matter.
It'll be, each page will have the initial workings of it, a slow and steady introduction to it. Again, it's so vast. This was about 2.5 years of just being within inside myself and observing the nature of language. Just sat and each and every moment of the day, things are presented to you for this synchronization. And as we said, the significance, the sign if I can see. Phonetically is to see. This is the sign if I can see. Just as magnificence is to magnify sense, and presence is pre-sense, and innocence is in no sense. But we see these words as the meaning, and you say that the innocence means that it's a child or a childlike thing. It means to have no senses. It means to see things as they are with no interpretation, and pure innocence itself is to be free from the nature of the mind or the attention drawn to the egoic mind, we should say, which takes you out of presence, which means you are not in no sense. You are full of senses which have been accumulated from what it has seen through its life experiences. And then the mind itself will consistently relay this back to you. And as we spoke of ego, E is this blue shift. So you go to the blue shift, which is the right side of the mind. And that's the right choice. Which the righteous is the right choice, just as if to realize is your real eyes. Somebody who has a very interesting language, will begin to see these things and find them very interesting and intricate. But if someone doesn't, it may seem very confusing.
Yeah.
Saul. He will say, what's the soul? It exists inside of you as one. You'll see this hidden within language itself. Even the very solution T is physical. The soul, you, physical ions. You have to become physical with your energetic level with the sun. You have to become very balanced and free as the one. Solitary, solo, always a void. It's just one void. The word's hidden here. Now, we can talk about things like the Oxford Dictionary, for example. This is a dictionary which explains etymology to the normal society as it's been. Now, everything is maritime. in the commercial world. It's all about the law of the sea, or the law of water. What does a ford do in a river? A ford, it stops the flow of water.
A ford? I never heard that.
I suppose your natural language isn't of English, but yeah, a ford in a river stops the flow of the current.
Okay.
This is why when someone hasn't got the currency, they can't afford something. Because they've hit a ford in the flow of their river as currency within their bank. And in the word bank, you hear onk. And your onkles or your ankles or the anchor holds things down. So this is a two-way system of movement that holds something, a bank, whether it's the flow of water or the flow of coins. And a coin is to go in. It's to join in with something. It allows your reciprocation of your energy with another thing to have an exchange. I think we should go a bit maritime here, just because it's all related to water, this system of commerce. You have a driving license, and as a driver, you will see D, which was for, which was form, and river. It's all to do with the sea. This is why you have, I know this is not spelt like it, but cement. Cement. It creates the sea mind. So when one's driving on their road, they but it has this connection to the sea. And you are on your car driving down the river. This is why everyone has their citizenships and their friendships, etc. And when one puts something up for sale, it means for sale. So when you have your house for sale, you will see that it means that you can now take it away and sell it. In the word sold, you see old. S was a sine wave, so once something's sold, it's an old sine wave, it no longer belongs to you. In the word slow, you'll see S low, which means the sine wave is low. If in the word stop, you'll see S top, which means the sine wave has hit the top, so it must stop. Like the word 7, you'll see the S even. This is sine wave in our very language itself. When prison, pry, to remove, to take away, the sun. We have the penal system. It's all pen. It's all pen. It's all down to the nature of this thing. Your signatures is your sign of nature, and everything is related to contracts. So the system is related to pens. This is why the pen is mightier than the sword. Every day people create contracts unknowingly with their person. Per means each son. But you are the lost son. We'll go to reversal quickly. The word lost is T, soul. T is 20 in the alphabet. Phonetically, that's why the sound T is there, but it's also representing physical. So your physical soul is what is lost, or your physical union with the soul, which is the merging of the mind, body, and spirit unification. union, unity, atonement, at one mind, one tie, or one physical, and Y means choice. Union is uni on, the one on. This is what religion truly means. Trying to bring you back to the one. Now, if one listens to the word one, you will see one. To reverse that word one, you will see now. It's only in this very moment now that you will win, or you have won, because you're not in two minds. You're no longer attention drawn to the ego and existing by the interpretation of it. It's a oneness. The word one, you put something physical in front of the one, there's a tone, a physical one, which is the reverberation. So from nothing came the one, and for the sound of the word of God, it needed something physical, which created the tone itself. If I was to say W, means W, which represents duality. If you were to live in the now, you have no W. There is no fiction, there is no person, there is no persona, there is no I, D, entity. This is number 9 in the alphabet. The divine feminine. This is a representation of your spine and your third eye. This is the flow of energy as it arises. So the identities are held on by conscious forms of identity, entities, and these are the demons. So all identity is a demon. But what is a demon? D is to remove, defragment, deconstruct. Mono. Mon means one. Mono is one, one void. A demon is to remove the one. And it puts you in duality. So you have inception, deception, reception, conception. You see the relation? There's nothing changed from these first few letters. Now to Sion, template is to contemplate. You begin to see on a template that you've created inside yourself. Sionception, reception, deception, inception, or 7 in French. Sept. Sept is 7. September is the 7th month, truly. It's not the 9th. This is why December deck is 10. But hidden in the word is CEPT. Seeing the ether or the E light in a physical. So the ether is the field that connects all things, but there's only one thing that allows one to see. which is light in physical. So inception is seeing the ether light in physical ions. Deception is to remove that, taking away light. Reception is to rightfully establish perception. And you have these. So you see inception, if you give your attention to deception, you won't be very receptive and you'll be full of concepts. Like the word freedom. Freedom is to freedom, dominion. Because people don't feel free when they have dominion over them. They feel powerless, like there's some energy that has a power over themselves. Sine wave of L in matter. The sine wave of E, L in your matter will bring you to yourself. This is the blue energy behind you. This is your Kundalini system of the very scary nature of the Cabal. To see able, to become enabled by the K-abler, the Kabbalah. It enables K balance, C balance, or Q balance. Q is a Phoenician symbol of 0 and 1. This is why 10 reversed is net. And net, or 10, is 0 and 1. Then 0 is feminine and 1 is masculine. It's all about the masculine and feminine energies. Do you have any questions, or would you like to just continue in such a way?
No, I'm no. It's deep. It's I need to watch this back probably several times and.
Discover. What would we want to discover? Well, in the word discover, you see dye. What's dye? What's dielectricity? And why do we have distilled water? What's this dye?
Is this the zero balance or 0 point?
Yeah, this is absolutely it. In the torus field, which is the atom, a physical void of balance. Backwards, it's mata, which is the root Sanskrit word for the mother. In English, we have other, which is what we need to connect with ourselves, is this mother. But really, in the word mother, you see M-O, the R. And the R is this reciprocating field, but also the means a physical vibration from E. So it's the balance void of physical vibration with E in reciprocation is the mother, the true nature of this mother. It creates balance consistently for the out of balance being an experience of purgatory, duality, or this very experience that we're going through. So does this discover positive, negative, or masculine, feminine? We just say this. As these energies reciprocate, the closest proximity that these two energies can get before they mediate each other's pressure, it's called die. And as things die, they release light. So death is a concept. You live once, but you never die. You can only die, which releases light or plasma. So you must become balanced to release this light. You must be uni-on, or unification. Die, to discover, is the die sine wave has been covered. And in the word cover, you'll see over. So when you cover something, you see over something. It goes over the top. This is a very important thing to know within language itself as well. You start to see the die words, but they will always point back to this balance.
Does every single letter in the alphabet have also a meaning? Of course, they have a meaning, but could we break it down? Also, go through the alphabet like A.
I mean, yeah, it won't take me very long to do it. I'll say it quickly so it's there for people on this video, but for people to get the understanding, it'll be quite difficult, here and now, because when one tries to think about what they're seeing, it takes them from what's being said next, and it's hard. But see, we just spoke of balance, and the ambulances is ambalance. Ambalance. And an emergency is to emerge and see. So everybody should emerge and see when they hear the sounds of the ambalance trying to help one. In the words of alarm, you're all arm. So the first alarm was to make everybody aware that they needed to arm themselves. And when one farms, F is 6 for matter. You arm yourself with matter to be able to consume, to be able to eat, to be able to continue your life. So we'll do A, B, C, D, and E. Can that be seen?
Mm-hmm.
There we
No,
go.
okay.
So A is an alpha wave. It means alpha. It's also 1, and it's related to the phi cycle, or the physical. Yeah?
Okay.
This is why the alpha wave is this latitudinal wave, which allows us this experience in search of balance consistently. B is by it's to, it's also to be. C is C, it means sight, also trinity, as it's number 3. D is the 4th letter in the alphabet. 4, you can see F, and you can see our, it's our matter, it's form. E is number 5, which is the quintessence. Ether, ether, and blue shift. Even in the word blue, you can see be luminous, be luminescent. This is the blue shift, luminescence, lumin, light, in essence, lumin, essence. And what is your essence? The E, double sine wave. This is 2 waves, a red shift and blue shift of the ether moving to the right and seeing ether. So your essence or your quintessence, Q balance U in T, physical. You balance yourself in physical. So the quint at the start of quintessence means truly to balance yourself within your physical, to see your essence as the quintessence, which is connected to the 5, and you need the 5 as the blue shift to balance this, and all E is related. And while we've done that, I just want to say that, the A and the E within the word creation, for example, you'll see C, R, E, and A, T, ion. And in the word creator, you'll see Tor, which is Taurus. So you see R, E, and A, Tauruses, or the physical ions within creation, and it represents the creation or the creative force is the redshift, blue shift, Taurus field that you see behind you. This magnetic magic energy. F, G, H, I, J, F is number 6. 666 is matter. In the word matter, also ter is tor. It's a similar phonetic sound. E and O can be very much interchanged. O is a womb of feminine energy. E is also the blue feminine energy. But matter is the torus, mator. And this is a balanced alpha wave physical torus. Balance 13, A, alpha, physical, T, tor. Matter is created from a balanced torus field. So this means matter. G is 7. It's the sine wave that is even. It represents light, or a material form of light. H is the 8th letter. You can see the twin pillars connected. This is also a reciprocating field. Everything is an 8. This is why you climb 8. It is in 8, and you reciprocate. So this means a union or a reciprocator, or a reciprocation. I, number 9, is the fem. I, 9. Can you see EM, electromagnetism? F is matter, I is consciousness, and number 9, the feminine itself, is the EM, ether balanced, or electromagnetism. It's the material form of electromagnetism of consciousness as a number 9. The Kundalini system with your pineal gland. J was added to the alphabet, but it's also the net. It's number 10. You could say it's the joker. It is the 10, which is net, which we explained earlier. It's 0 and 1. You'll find J not in many words. K, 11, or the 11th letter of the alphabet. It means twin pillars, or a balance, or a balancing of energy. And if one wants to leave, they must leave. You must even the L. Number 12. This is why 12 is so very special. 12 disciples, 12 moons of the year, etc. It is the twining of the L's with the V, E, the feminine ether blue shift. This is the mastered feminine number. This is why twilight is the twined light. The twilight zone is the twilight Z1, the one with the Z wave, the Z ion. L is also like a full circle, but it basically means to join these two L's together. That's why the two L's of the A and E are very important to get to know when we go to this language. M equals number 13. She's the golden arches. This is why McDonald's uses this M as a beautiful sign. Number 13. Pure balance, golden light. One must always become in union with this M at any moment.
But not at McDonald's.
Not at McDonald's. You'll be very disconnected from the moment. Balanced void in the mind. This is a moment. And to be in the moment, one must balance their self in their mind. And they will find this space, the nothing, the non-existing void. M. Then we have N, which is moving towards the right, or an ending and a new beginning. This is why end is END, because the ether is the connection. Now you're moving away, ending form. But the end doesn't mean it's the end, it just means you're moving from form to something different. This is why the philosopher is the phi lost cipher. The phi is the phi cycle of the physical, and the cipher to lose it, to become in union with something other than physical nature. O is void, feminine. P is light. pH scale, light. H was vibration. That's what it means, the vibration, sorry. We said it meant a reciprocation. It's in language, it's more of a vibration. So as things unify, they vibrate. So P represents light. P is light, H is vibration. It's the light vibration scale. So this is why photons are light and are spelt with this, but yet anything that is matter will be spelt with the word F. Or farm, or food. The light vibrational void, T is physical, on. And that's what photons do. The light vibrational voids that turn on physical experience. Q is balance. This is why the Kabbalah, or the Kabbalah is spelled with K, Q, or C, because it means balance. There's nothing to fear. The very existence of those are just interpretations over time that put people off. They're supposed to put people off who have no true gnosis and listen to the hearsay and untruths of others who speak rather than to seek themselves. Because to seek is to see, okay, which is balance, which was number 11, which is L even. So one must seek to see K, which is L even, or balance of their twin pillar temples. In the word temple, you see TEM pull, which is your physical electromagnetic pull, how you pull from this ether experience. And how one truly experiences their life is relative to the vibration which they are, because you instantaneously manifest your experience from the field from that which you vibrate at. From that which you are is your experience. Let go of fear to experience so much more than ego. So we went to Q. Q just means perfect balance. So go on, please, brother.
No, I was just thinking about like the Q movement. Is that
big distraction? Yes. Sorry. To get this out, I have to bring myself to a different space, and there's lots of energy here. Q, the question, or the quest I'm on, yeah? And the quest would be what? Q, your EST, sine wave physical. Balance your sine wave of the physical ions. If anybody has a question, this is what it relates to. So to even have a question takes one from balance, because it's as if one has a need for something other than themselves. And in the search, the self eludes you because you're already the very thing which you seek. We have R, which is number 18, which is a reciprocation of energy, which would be the 8 and the 1 as a torus field, which we see behind you on the left. S is a sine wave. T is a physical. So for example, we're going to go to T because we haven't touched T, just to bring some alignment and awareness to it. If somebody had an issue, the issue is you, okay? Phonetically, is you. Now, if I was to put a T in front of it, you have tissue. Now, physical is you. This is why you have skin tissue. If you had a tissue to blow your nose or to wipe your bum, you would have a physical issue. So these tissues have been invented for physical issues, and also you have skin tissue. Also, another word that is very good is your sinuses are sinuses. Sinuses. So when you use things which are simple, they express themselves through your sinuses to alleviate your body from pain. And as we said, alleviate or elevate, you can see the L, Eve, 8 or A-T-E is here. So to elevate oneself, they must even the L and reciprocate. L even the vibration. In the word 8, you'll see 1, you'll see 20, you'll see 5. 1 at 2 at 5 is 8. Sorry about the 8. But this is how it is. There is no way from running from divine consciousness language. It just has to be seen. So you have a task, which is a T-ask. You ask a physical. You have a tank. A tank holds, or even a tank is something which is very grounded. The ankles or the anchor holds things down. This is physical. A tank holds things in physical. You have trainers. Now to rein is to hold something back. You children have reins. Yeah. Trainers hold your physical back because they stop you from being grounded. Grounding is something electrical that all electrical beings need. This is why the earth is called earth or ground, because one needs to be with the grounding of the earth as this electrical being. You have trousers. You have T-shirt, physical shirt. You have T-rousers, rouser or arousal means to go up. These trousers go up your physical. Time is very physical. It's only found in physicality. And its consciousness balanced with the ether. But the consciousness is aware and you are in time. Time backwards is to emit. It's an emission. But also time is to tie me. This is why you have a clock. Because a clock is also a lock. And you continue to watch the clock and keep yourself trapped in time, which is tying you. And the emission of time is within the word, and the true expression of time is within the word too. You is you. So you'll see, you know, the word you is only the phonetic sound of the word you. V, this is number 21. V is number 22, which is the master number. This is feminine. This is masculine. This is feminine. This is Freemasonry. This is X family. This is pure balance. This is where Dai is released. X marks the spot. The spot is the sine wave of light, void, in physical. This could almost be related to the bullseye. A ball is the B-A-L-L. It's also a bull. A bull is also a Taurus. And a bull is also a Taurus. The reason why we live on a bull is because we live on a Taurus. And the reason why the Earth spins so very fast is because a magnetic field reciprocates its energy. And then you'll realize where the center sun exists within the center there, which is a void, which is the mystery of the black sun and the white sun. The word bull or bull, you can see it's talking about double L's. And these are the two L's that need to be level within the AL and the EL, the red shift and the blue shift. A Taurus, physical AURUS, a physical golden full magnetic sine wave within yourself. Taurus is the Tor of us. A Tor, or the Tor, is a physical void of reciprocation, of full magnetism in your sine wave. This is the expression of it. So you see these two L's are very important if one can start to see the geometry of it. And this is why every church has a bell. Because it dings BL or BELL. And every church had one. And they very much ring it. And why would it be called ring? Because it's the R in G, or the reciprocator in G, which is the realm of the 7 colors of incandescent light scattered in this prism. And they're trying to wake one up to it. Ring, ding, the bell, to be L. You must be L. L is the root Sanskrit word for God. You must become God. God is G-O-D, G-O-D. 7 voids of form. You must see this to release this energy within inside yourself. 7 voids D form. 7 is related to the colors, is related to the sun, is related to the aura, which is related to light. This is why light travels in rings. Because a spring is a sine wave of light ring. And all light travels in such a way. W is W. It is duality. It's the alternate dimension of persona, identification, and ego. X is perfect balance. Y is choice, and Z is this longitudinal wave, which we're in search for. And Y is choice. And why it's choice before the Z is because one must do it through their own experience via the choices that they make. So the ego or duality must be balanced by choice to become the Z ion. And every letter in the alphabet tells the story. So if you read the alphabet from the instructions I give you, it gives you the solution and the way out. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is not just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, is actually an instruction for oneself to become free. Do we have any questions? Because this could go on very
Yes, I see that it can, and we already are at 80 minutes. So let's look at the questions. Helen asks if you can do glucose. I guess break it down, also the word itself.
I can have some glucose right now. Yes. Can one see the word glucose? Can you see the G and the L and U and co? Does glucose tell one who is G, L, O to join the sine wave with E? The even 7 sine wave of man's expression through light, L, is a representation of this AL, U, must join the sine wave with E. It is something for your body to balance itself with a negative feminine charge, which allows balance to happen within your body. Glucose.
And I saw Lisa has a question. So if we can get more out of words, are we supposed to be getting more out of numbers? Like if we keep seeing certain numbers, 111, 222, 333, 555, etc., are we supposed to be getting a message from them?
I mean, your own interpretation of these is what happens when one becomes free. One will see the synchronicities and start to be observant in the nature of what's happening to them at that particular time, which then builds a knowing with this number. So yes, they have a very grand meaning, but they don't mean the same to everyone. As this is a universal code of consciousness that's expressed itself. So each individual number will express itself through language and its own numerology. But everything is relative to what's happening in your perception at that particular time. So just be aware of when the number was seen. What time was it? What was I thinking at that particular time? This thing here is showing me that what I was contemplating on at that particular time was correct. The divine numbers of synchronicity are very keys to show people that they're initially waking up or have come into a state that can see this alternate system other than the normal expression of language itself, which just allows the unconscious to comply and to be consistent in their ways as they go through days. This is why stop signs make people stop, whether they're conscious or not.
Ole from Awake has a question. What about metaphysics versus metaverse?
Language or just...
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
But
a verse is a sound or an accumulation of sounds strung together. And, meta, you can see the word balance, ETA. So you balanced with this blue shift of energy in your physical A alpha state. This would be the world that exists beyond normal perception. You could say an arising of spiritual energy or spiritual nature. So a metaverse is an accumulation of different sounds, frequencies, and energies. And the other word was meta.
metaphysics.
So it's kind of like trying to bring the unseen world into seeing, which is kind of impossible. This is why physics and science can never truly explain what an atom is, and they call it an atom because it hides one away from the nature of magnetic fields and energy that way. So metaphysics is related to phi, or the phi cycle, or the physical world, and trying to see beyond it. And the metaverse is something, a grand construct of something beyond physical nature. I think this is why the metaverse, is coming into fruition, such as the Ready Player One movie, because this is beyond physical, something that can't be touched but is being created.
Empress Bonita also have a question regarding some numbers. I've been seeing 58 or 758 all the time. Can you please speak on that?
See if it has anything that may relate to you. See 7, 5, and 8. 7 is G, 5 is E, and 8 is H. See, 758 translated in such a way is your own personal sine wave needs to vibrate with the E. 5 being E, 8 being H, vibration. It's like in the word vibration, for example, you can see V, I, B, Ra, T, ion. A mastered consciousness. 2, there's 2. You can see the sun, polarities, redshift, blue shift in physical ions. So for something to vibrate, it must be feminine, consciousness to a reciprocating alpha wave in a physical. So there's the union or collaboration of these both energies which create the vibration itself. But yes, it's a number that is telling you that there's an offering of a sine wave of the feminine energy, and it wants you to connect with it. It wants you to become free, as every single word in language is basically expressing the same things. It's all about this balance within inside ourselves. The removal of one's identity or attention towards identity and transcending to the next dimension, which exists fully involved is the experiencer in the moment. And then beyond this, the true realization of self in form. That you are the creator that watches very quietly in the background with no form. And you can never be found. It's a letting go of all of these concepts that brings you to this space.
I see Finn has wrote meditation and Xmas.
Meditation is a really good word. Thank you for bringing it up. We spoke of the die earlier on. I think meditation is something very important to know, that meditation is not a doing. Meditation is a being. You cannot meditate physically. You see me, die, T, 8. Oops. 8. 8 is this, is to vibrate. So this is the vibration, me, die, physical 8. So I need to balance my physical vibration. D is form, I is consciousness, feminine energy. So your form and consciousness is the union, balance with the ether in your physical vibration. Meditation is a beingness. It is a balanced energy field and unification of energy that only is found in pure freedom. So one cannot meditate, they are meditation, but one has to find it. So one can sit still in a lotus position to try to find moments of stillness, you could say, or nothingness, emptiness. But all of these concepts still hold one from emptiness, because emptiness is a concept. One searches for emptiness and never realizes that they are empty when you let go of concepts such as emptiness.
Yeah. This is so interesting and so I would say difficult for at least for me, but probably because I'm not not.
It's just like trying to learn a new language within an hour and a half. But it's not here to learn. You see, as we learn, this is another synchronicity for people. What do we learn? When we learn, we earn L. And this is the L of the E and A, full magnetic, ending, a new beginning. The ladder is the L adder, Jacob's ladder. And this is, as I stated earlier, only way to leave is the LE, is to even your L's. The E and the A, the red, the blue with the mastered ether. The feminine E blue shift energy. And this is why you have to exit. To leave. The Xbox 360, you have to circle your box, circle the square. Even the word square is SQUR. In the word cube, you'll see the game cube, CUB. But the solution's in them, CUBE, that's the solution. Sine wave balanced your alpha with the full magnetic ether. Also a box. You need to be void balanced. Be void balanced to free yourself from this box. CUB, one way of looking at it. Another way is to CUB ether, another way of looking at it. And this is why the cube, the square, or the box unfolded is the cross. That's the lid. A cross is even seeing the full magnetic void of the double sine waves. The longitudinal, latitudinal. And this is our mission. My double S ions. Or not to miss them. But this is the Rubik's Cube. And that's why the Rubik's Cube is full of the same colors as the chakra system behind you. And every time one has created concepts within their own self as illusions, you have to put the pieces back together. You have to align each square, each system of light. You need to become pure. And what is pure? The light. You are E, or the light of reciprocating ether within yourself. Another couple of words while we're silent is properties. Is a property, or a pro for per each tie. For each tie. For example, you had promenades, didn't you? Back in the day. For men aid, an aid for men. You have an arc, aid, which is electrical. Arc is electrical. An aid is aided by electrical. You have on a tree, you have the bark. Dogs also bark too. The arc. This is two. There's a two-way system of electrical energy with the bark. And this is why people hug trees. And what are trees? Trees are physical things that rightfully establish the ether or the E field, which is why they are opposite. They are by nature very obvious, like plasma related lightning, as you see within the branches. They give off oxygen, they drop your fruit, they take your carbon, your wee, your poo, all these things are feeders for the tree. It's something which you very much need. But you'll see this arc and phonetically, like dark. You see dark. You hear spark. A sine wave of light arcing. And what's arcing is an alpha wave reciprocating in balance. This creates electricity. Dark form of arcing. So how did light come from darkness? The form of alpha reciprocated in balance. And a void, or the center of the magnetic field behind you, is an absolute darkness or void. And light came from this as it mediated pressure. But again, these energies, these systems, the physical world is a concept from a universal grand mind that thought this into existence by our deepest self in the no thing. And what is a thing? It's a physical T vibration of consciousness ending balance. Or to think is a physical vibration in your consciousness that ends balance. So should one think, or should they contemplate? Thinking is automatic. Contemplation is a choice. Everything in this universe is consenting through choice. And this is why awareness and consciousness is the very thing which is the ladder to your freedom.
Sarah has a question. Is consciousness same thing as energy and spirit?
No. Energy and spirit are concepts that's arisen within inside consciousness. Consciousness can also be conceptual. The true word would be awareness. As if one sits with themselves and becomes very still and lets go of any thought or identity or form that's within inside themselves, and sits there and comes to the realization that everything that is and is an expression is seen, witnessed, and you're aware of these things. Even consciousness itself is something which is witnessed and seen. So all of these things are concepts and illusions. Illusions elude us. One has to be very still with themselves in a state, ST8, sine wave physical 8 state, and realize that I hold nothing, I am everything. And if I sit here and become aware of my true nature, I cannot find my true nature. There is no concept, there is no word, there is no sentence, paragraph, or image which can portray the very power of what it is in that space. You are that space, free from all judgments, all concepts.
No identity. May Josh please speak on the infinity symbol, please?
The 8 is the Mobius loop, the perpetual unification of two energies. This is the symbol, the sign of what we see behind brother here. This 8, this Mobius loop, is the reciprocating field of perpetual energy that allows life to play and to believe and to see form, etc., and to become so very real that if one starts to look into the fabric of their reality, there's still another concept for one to see. Reality is a real I tie. And it's all tied to this I, or this mind's eye, or the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye is nothing bad. The all-seeing eye is found through the 13 steps to the letter M, which is balance. We just sometimes fall trapped to conspiracies and then start to reveal lies instead of truth and feel very negative about these things. What goes on in the world is a construct within a media or a medium that if our attention is given to something other than the very moment, we can become very uncomfortable. But what we need to do is comfort able and to enable ourselves by sitting and living in able, by the righteous choices in each moment, and continue to express and take action, which is our karma, to that which we know to be true. And if we apply our truth, we elevate and we grow in our own perception and expand ourselves. Truth is not found in other people's experiences, it's found in yours. Peri. Peri is sight, peri is scope, multiple sight. Experience happened from X before sight. It was a sight before experience. And this allows one to grow in wisdom. And in my humble advice is to, from this moment, just apply yourself to the very best that which you can do. Experience the application of what you did and contemplate, was it beneficial? Could I do it different? Start to become very aware of the things that you do. Grow in strength. Practice virtuous living. Be kind. Be patient. If one is impatient, contemplate on why. Then you'll see the very nature of your impatience was an illusion because you had an expectation of this very situation to be different, for something to be quicker, for something to be, which is your illusion. And we come to the realization that we fall trapped to this interpretation that goes on within our mind. The attention is drawn there, yet attention drawn to this allows this to become very silent. And we experience and we are conscious of this moment, which means we learn, we grow, we expand, until the expansion is just so perpetual and so rapid. You look back within 1 year and you realize how far you've came, yet people stuck within inside this ego can live a whole lifetime and never change. Gifted is the man who applies his knowledge.
Okay, brother, we are getting there.
Yes.
Thank you once again for amazing gnosis. I can't say I understood it all. I got a deeper look into it. But as you said, it's like learning a language, so it's bound to take some time.
Yeah.
I believe we have touched most of the questions. Thank everybody for being here.
Yeah, we will get these out so people can see, but there's a lot of videos broken down on Josh X YouTube channel. And there'll be a course on this on the XFAM Unity website, so, and a book. So we need to just allow this to sit in with us and just start to watch the very nature of our language. See the union of like co, which means to join, to become me, to welcome me. See the Ra, the sun, CAU is gold. See S is the sine wave. Then just build it very slowly if one chooses to.
Let's do a last question from Fly on the Wall, because you just posted one. What do you think happens when our bodies die?
They turn into dust. And our awareness it remains. See, you, as I stated earlier, it's very key. You live once, but you never die. The body is a dimension created from yourself to fall into a space of duality. This body doesn't even exist, yet one believes very strongly that it does, because of the level of experience and the level of things that one's seeing, feeling, and connecting with. But your dreams are very similar. But you wake up again here, dreaming within a dream within a dream. You are the dreamer. You are the creator. You just haven't realized it. If one has the wonderful ability to realize this within the body, one knows that you can never die. You are die. You are the creator, the God realization frees oneself from samsara. Otherwise, one's born again into another experience to try to wake oneself to its true nature.
But then do we live once? Or do we live every time we have a new... Also, is there a new life every time we have a new vessel? Or is it just a one long life?
So what's aware of you speaking right now? I mean, you're speaking, but what witnesses the speech? If you separate yourself very slowly and you start to see that there's something deep here that witnesses all things. You even witness the stress of the person go off and have all of these experiences and flutter and panic and fear, and that's separate from the moment. One can be the experiencer, so very involved in the dimension of this moment and truly become involved so much that this mind doesn't exist. This is called enlightenment. This is called no ego that really affects one. It's still there. It still has a use. It still has a dimension that you can choose to use at any particular time. But the realization that not who am I, is what am I? As you try to find yourself, because the thoughts that happen, you hear them, but they're not verbal, they're not audible, they're not seen. So what is it that witnesses these thoughts? You try to search and you can't find, and you realize that you've seen that dimension of yourself search. So that can't be me either. So I've watched myself as a person, I've watched myself experience, I've watched myself search for me. Where am I? What am I? And you are the very witness of these things. You are the God, the creator, the thing which everything in your reality rises in yourself. And you're the witness of these things. So you're witnessing yourself play as a person, lost within the dimension of duality. Yet the self-realization brings you back to the singularity space that you know you're this witness that can never be seen, the ultimate creator, the space of no thing, the subject below all objection or matter. So how could you ever die if you've created this from yourself? The dream may die of that which this person is, but you'll remain. And then you can dream again. Now you can create a dream consciously. You can leave the vessel. You can leave the body at will when one is in a state of truth. It's just a body. The body arose in your awareness. You, or the awareness, does not arise in the body. The body is a tool that's arisen inside yourself as a concept for play. As the awareness expands within inside itself, it had to go through different concepts, you could say, within inside itself to expand and play.
And entertainment.
Exactly. This is where nothing matters. Nothing matters. Be happy. Surrender and let go. Your attention is your magician's tool. Put it where you want it. Don't give it to the mind, to the media, to the scrolling fingers. Please.
Trust. Next week, next Thursday, we will be talking about Christmas, Christmas, or the what's really going on, where where your chrism oil rises and everything. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
A lot of stigmata attached to these holy days. These holy days are your holiday seasons. Halloween, not a bad thing. That's a concept that truth seekers seek and fall trap into conspiracies. Geometry, stars, alignment, energy. Christmas doesn't have to be anything negative. One perceives things in a certain way. They create those very situations within inside themselves. It's a magical time. Santa was a guru. Santa found the self. Saint
Very good.
Nick. Saint Nick was a saint.
Okay.
Have
Once
a beautiful
again,
evening.
thank you all for being here, and see you next week.
Yes. Love you all very dearly. Thank
Love
you for
you
your
all.
time and energy being with us, and live every day in the presence, the present moment. It's the true gift.
Thank you very much, Josh. We love you very much. I think I speak for everyone. Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.